Okay, guys, I do apologize. Internet completely died for like I don't know, 5 minutes straight or something. Somehow I am still connected to the game. Uh so hopefully everybody can just find their way back here and we will just pretend like that didn't happen. Uh yeah, sorry. So okay. What has happened? I lost a whole bunch of time. They played knight e7. All right. Trying to recover from that distraction. I mean, it's not a huge deal if they castle this side. That's pretty wide open. I think we want to maybe move here, but then there's d5, which I don't like. Although, I guess we just take it actually and we win. Okay, so here we threaten this. The queen is then tied down. The bishop is pinned. If you try to castle, I take d5. What is going on? I take, you take my queen. I'm still down a piece, but I still have a really nice looking attack. What else can black play here, guys? d5, bishop takes. Takes, knight takes. I'm pretty sure we win that position. Let's go queen e4. I have to... It says I spent 4 minutes and 24 seconds. I apologize, guys. I don't know what happened. I went down and checked the router was completely off for a moment or two. So something with AT&T. Okay. So if they castle, I think we just take, we keep attacking. d5. d5, I guess we take the queen and then we are down a piece, but I feel like we still have a lot of initiative in that position. Rook takes e4 or knight takes e4. There's also potentially another move. Let's see. If they castle, what other options do we have? Bishop d3 doesn't seem to cut it. They have knight g6. Taking the knight, I don't think we can do that. We're still going to be down a piece. Okay, but I'm going to be down a piece this version too. So, oh, okay. What if we actually? Okay, hold on. What if they castle rook takes f4 d5? What if we just play queen f3? Keep the queens on the board. Yeah, keep the attack going. We've got pressure here. We've got pressure here. We've got pressure here. Then we can drop the bishop back. We have pressure here. That might be the way to do it because I don't think we want to trade queens. They might be thinking about d5 right away, but I think that's a no-brainer. Sack the bishop. If we come in with the knight, there's too much pressure on e7 and everywhere around the king. I don't think black can survive that. So I think it's most likely that they're going to castle. Rook f4, d5. Probably going to go with queen f3. Oh, what? They're going to go right away? Okay. Let's take that. I don't even think I have to think about it. That's a pretty obvious one. They might just be sacrificing the pawn to let the bishop out, which actually would be a smart thing. But I don't think they can take that. There's no way. When I win this game, it's the AT&T Gambit. Yes. Yes, exactly. Somehow we're up on time, despite the fact that I was gone for like 5 minutes. All right, so they can castle here. It's almost the same deal. Actually, no, it's a little different because now my bishop is under attack. So maybe that's their idea. But they want to castle now. And if we take here, then they could take. And we actually do lose the bishop. So that's kind of smart. It is kind of smart. Now, of course, I could save the bishop. I could take here. So we're still down a piece at that moment. If they take me, I take them. Still down a piece. So castling takes. Queen f3. We're down 2 pieces. The attack sort of continues. No, this... What is this? What is this? No, this can't be right. This cannot be the way. I think they had to castle. The problem for black is there's too many weaknesses around the king. I cannot believe this is good for black. Let's see. There's a check, but bishop d7. If we take the queen, they take my queen. I take with check. They move here. I take here. I'm still down a piece. So I'd like to leave the queens on the board if we can figure out a way to do that. Maybe queen c4 is the move. Queen c4 hits the queen. Threatens knight c7 check, potentially. Also threatens this still. This. You can also go check, sacking the knight that way, then take here. But then I don't think that's going to be good enough. I think we might need the knight. So I mean, this one's interesting, actually. This one is really interesting. Takes, check, takes. We have a strong attack. 2 rooks and a knight, though. I don't know if that's enough. Alternatively, queen c4. What is black going to play? What is black going to play? Let's say queen d6. We take. Oh, queen c4 looks good, right? What was the move that I thought they were going to play against this? I actually forgot. I don't remember. Let's go queen c4. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just taking and playing that position was good enough. The 2 rooks and the knight would be very strong. But it feels better to keep the queens on the board, right? He can sack a queen and still be winning. Yeah, black can definitely sack the queen. The problem is for black, even after you sack the queen, that doesn't fix the problem that all the pieces are undeveloped. So then you still have to survive where I have a queen and some pieces against a king that doesn't have a lot of support. So that's kind of the issue. Of course, if black could sack the queen and get like 2 or 3 free moves to develop all the pieces, that yeah, they would be totally winning. But within a weak king, it's not that simple. That's kind of the issue. Of course, you can't take the knight because I just take it. There's a pin. And when you move the queen, I'm going to be taking here, probably with the rook. And if they do sack, let's just say takes. Yeah, we have a queen and a rook for, okay, the rooks cancel out. We have a queen for like 4 pieces, which obviously should be better for the pieces. But you have to understand that the king is very exposed. And there's, pieces are going to be dropping off left and right, probably. Not to mention, they're going to run out of time. And there's still a lot to think about for black. Yeah, this was the Muzio Gambit and the King's Gambit accepted. We'll look at it after the game so everybody can see what we played here. Yeah, so they're going to have to make a decision. Okay, they decide to sack the queen. We don't have a pin anymore because they took the rook, so I guess we do have to take it. We do have a check. Let's just consider briefly. Is it worth throwing in the check? I don't think so, because I think I want to be able to take this knight. Yeah, so I think we'll just take the queen. So this is what I was saying. Like, you look at the material, rook for knight, rook for... Okay, so you have the queen for these 4 pieces. They should be winning, but their king is in big trouble. So let's just look for the win here, guys. Oh. I was going to say we trade and take that, but I guess we just take it right away. I guess we just take it right. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at that wild and crazy game. Double. No, actually, it wasn't a double. It was just a regular Muzio Gambit. All right. Wow. So I'm not surprised by the accuracy. It's very difficult to play those types of games. Okay. Well, let's see. So let's do a little analysis here. So G5, the main line for white is actually H4. And then when they push, you can jump your knight forward and the game goes on. Those are the 2 main lines. But bishop C4, I really like because it allows the Muzio Gambit. Now, in the Masters database, let's see. Yeah, castling actually, I'll put this on for you guys. Castling actually wins 56% of the time. So even at the higher levels, this is very solid. And the fact that it's supposedly better for black, I mean, almost means nothing unless they've memorized all of the theory, right? So they take, you come out with the queen. So you give up the knight, but what do you get in return? This battery is extremely dangerous for the black king, extremely dangerous, especially when you pair that with this bishop lined up here and the fact that black does not have any pieces developed, right? They play the best move. Queen f6 is the best move. And yeah, again, I'll show you. Check it out. The main move here for white is e5. See that 55% win rate. So this is the Muzio Gambit. And e5, if they take, I was going to play bishop takes f7. And you'll see the double, well, you won't see, but I'm seeing over here, the double Muzio Gambit. Okay? Here you can see. Double Muzio Gambit. So you sacrifice 2 pieces. There's actually, believe it or not, a triple Muzio Gambit, which I'll show you guys in just a second. So if they take d4, bishop e3, I believe, is the triple. Is it not? I thought this was a triple Muzio Gambit. Okay, well, anyway, it almost looks like you're sacrificing 3 pieces, but if they take it, you actually just win because of the pin. The pawn can't take you. Okay, so you can go there, and if they take this, You win. Queen takes f4. You actually have a winning attack here. I'm not going to get into all the lines. It's quite complicated. But that's what I was going for. Unfortunately, our opponent did not do that. They went with a check, which, let me see. Has this move been played? No, it's not been played in the Masters database. It's not a really common move, and it's not a good move. They're supposed to take. But still, very, very tricky. Queen b6 is also a move. Okay. Bishop c5 is not a good move. King h1. Oh, I messed up. I am not supposed to do that. So the problem, I guess, is that by allowing them to get their bishop in the middle here, it actually is a really great defender. It blocks off their king. It defends this pawn, and it makes my life very difficult because now when I want to take this pawn, like we kept seeing, I was going to be trading queens in all those variations, right? So that's why that was a huge mistake on my part. I actually should have just played king h1 because now, let's just say they take. Well, now when I play d4, they don't get their bishop in the center. And I can just recapture here. There's no queen trade. And look at how much better this looks already for me, right? Like, we don't have to worry about the queens coming off. We have this huge attack. Yeah, so that was a really big mistake. Huh. Okay, that's good to know for next time. I don't need to play d4 there. Wow, okay. But I did it, and I found myself in what's actually a losing position. Yeah, I didn't know that, of course. My opponent didn't know that, but it is losing. Knight c3. They played the... no, they didn't play the best move. No, that's a bad move. I don't know why I was thinking that was a good move. 97 is the move. 97. And the point is if I go 94, they're just going to slide the queen over here. And let's say I just try to develop or something. Now black has time to play d5. Their pieces are coming out. I'm just down a piece. I don't actually have a good attack against 97. Yeah, so d4 was a really big mistake on my part. But luckily for us, they played c6. Again, I messed up. I needed to play rook e1 only move to immediately put the pressure there and threaten bishop f4. The problem with my move is that they could have taken with their queen. And I think I was going to take this. Stockfish says, then they just move. And I don't have a way to keep the attack going. If I go something like this, they're just going to play knight. It's super complicated, though. It's super complicated. Of course, black would have to find all the right moves, but they are just totally winning. And if I trade, I'm just basically playing an endgame now down a piece, which is not what you want. So, rook e1, I had to do this. It all revolves around not letting them, force the issue with the queen trade, right? That's what the key is here. Okay, so they capture. We bring the other rook. It's an okay move. Not the best. d5. They should have castled. Yeah, they should have castled. Castling is the best move. They castle. I have to go for this line. They take me. I can take, but then they get to trade. And Stockfish says this position is actually winning for black. They do sacrifice the queen, and now they have a bunch of pieces for the queen. Still kind of a tricky position, though. Okay, so they messed up. They took here. We take back. That's a brilliant move. Wow. They found the best move, queen e5. And here they went wrong. That was a huge mistake. They had to play bishop e6. If they played bishop e6, giving up the queen this way, now their pieces are actually getting out. I can throw in a check, but they just take it. And yeah, they actually get the pieces out. The rook comes over. And now I am going to lose because all of these pieces are going to be better than a queen, right? So I am going to lose now. They had to see bishop e6. So this is, even against a grandmaster, like the chances that they find all of these moves, it's very challenging, right? Unless they've studied the line. And if they know the line, then yeah, you're probably in trouble. But the part of the reason this was even such a bad position for me was because earlier I messed up when I played d4 here. Otherwise, I'm just winning. This was a bad move from black. If I just play king h1, I'm just winning. And if they play the main line, then yeah, I'm slightly, behind. It's -2, but there's all kinds of crazy variations here that black has to be aware of. You have to play queen f5. And then you have to play knight f6, and then you have to play bishop g7, and then like the odds that somebody plays all these moves, it's not that great. Anyway, let's go to the next game. Super interesting stuff though. King's Gambit. Oh, bishop e3 was the triple Muzio? Okay. It just didn't say it on the in the opening explorer for some reason. I thought that's what it was. All right. Why does this name sound familiar? Hold on. I have a bad feeling about this account. I don't know why. I'm gonna play a different opponent. I just have a weird feeling about that one. I know I've played that account before in the past, and something about it, I have memories. You started following chest vibes. Oh man, chest vibes. I need to get back to working out more often. Yeah, I don't usually abort games, but that account in particular, I'm pretty sure we've had some very strange games against. So we're gonna avoid that one. And the annoying thing about getting disconnected is now I'm going to have 2 live streams with the same thumbnail. It's going to be very confusing for people. Why are there 2 of the same one? All right, here we go. Here we go. Theo Dapper plays e4. Let's play another Sicilian. And we'll go g6 again. Getting the bishop here. Okay. They don't go for the Maroczy bind like we saw in the other game. This is more mainline stuff, yes. And then I think we just attack the pawn here. Getting ready to castle. Yes, let's castle. And I'm pretty sure the main line here is bishop b3. Yes, I believe that is the main line. What am I supposed to play? For some reason, I think the move is rook e8. Why is the move rook e8? Well, let's just play it, and we will have to see about that after the game. I don't remember why rook e8 is a good move. Tips for performance anxiety. So I assume you're talking about, since you mentioned OTB, like playing in actual tournaments. Yeah, I mean, if you've never played in OTB tournaments, it's gonna be pretty stressful. You kind of just have to do it more and get used to it is probably the biggest thing I could say. Yeah, it's yeah, if you're not used to it, even for people who play, it's very stressful. I mean, I'll give you a good example. So at the tournament that I was at, I was watching one of the top boards after my round. There was two grandmasters playing, and they were in severe time pressure, like literally playing on increment. They would get 30 seconds, they would think for 30 seconds, make a move, hit the clock in a complicated position. One guy ended up getting two queens. The other guy was trying to push his pawns and get a queen. Like, it was crazy. And the guy's hand was like shaking. And it's just super intense. And so that's just kind of part of it. Um, so yeah, I mean, you just got to practice and get used to it, basically. It's probably not the answer you wanted to hear, but I don't really know of a way around that. Okay, H3. Bit of a strange move. I think they normally go F3. This one, I guess it's the same idea. You stop this, but you don't defend your pawn here. I am gonna go E6. I think we're supposed to just like go E6 and D5, and then maybe that's why we wanted our rook on E8, because then it looks like we're really smart. Yeah, I guess the other thing about the anxiety that helps me is exercising. Like right before the game, do some sort of cardio or weight weight training or something, and that kind of just settles the mind down. Okay, Queen D2. Yeah, I think let's see D5. So what's going to happen if we play D5 here? I guess it's fine. I'm not actually sure. We'll check after the game what's the deal with this rook E8 move and see if I did the right thing or not here. I don't actually remember. This is the extent of my knowledge. So even though there's a lot of pieces, right, in between the rook and the king, you have to realize in just a quick and simple trade of pawns, all of a sudden now the rook is lined up on the king, right? There's only one piece in between. That's how fast things can open up in a chess game. So you have to be really careful when there's a piece, long range piece lined up on a king like this. For example, takes. If it was our turn, we could even take right away. The bishop cannot take back, so the queen has to take. Then we can move our knight and hit the queen, and we're in business. So they take here. I guess we have to take back. That's a pretty obvious one. Okay, and they decide to push. So option one, we go here and we hit the pawn. They're probably going to play the move F4. Okay. But we could play C5, and our pawns are kind of rolling over here, which I like. So that looks really good. I don't think it makes any sense. Why would we go there? Yeah, this has to be like the only move, right? That's the only move that makes any sense. So we'll go here. I'm expecting F4 to try to keep their pawn in the center. Otherwise, we just win a pawn. Yes. But now C5 looks great. C5 looks like a great move, guys. I'm just scanning. I mean, there's other moves. F6 is a move to just chip away at the center. And if they take us, we just take back with something and play E5. That also looks very good. But C5. All right, so we're threatening a fork. They could play knight B5 with this outpost. So we have to consider what's happening there. C4 doesn't quite trap the bishop. Huh. This is such a tempting move, but knight b5 does look annoying. So, I mean, we could play bishop a6 first. because we want to develop that bishop anyway. We get control of the b5 square. We stop them from castling kingside. You can castle queenside, but then again, c5. Now the pawns are rolling. Bishop a6 might be a strong move. It might be a strong move. If they played, let's just say knight a4, trying to jump in here, I'd probably just play bishop f8 and again c5. Yeah, I think we want to go bishop a6 here. Any other moves I'm missing? Okay, I mean, this is actually interesting. c5, knight b5, sacrifice the knight for the bishop to come in and start pressuring on these dark squares. That's fascinating concept, but nah, it's probably not worth it. All right, let's go bishop a6. We'll check after the game, but I think this seems like a reasonable approach. It's a nice developing move anyway. Okay, so they castle. And now I think c5. Yeah, let's go ahead. Threatening the fork. We have a nice big center here. We can reroute this bishop back this way if we need support here. Also, we have an open file we can use to attack the king. White's attack, it just feels kind of slow, right? It just feels kind of slow. There's a move I just noticed, actually. Knight takes d5, queen takes d5. Maybe I should have considered this. It's a very annoying move because it's hitting multiple things. Not sure if it works because we might just be able to play the move c4. c4. If they take a piece there, we're going to get their piece. And if they trade, then we're fine. Yeah, I don't think it works, but that's interesting. Something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind for sure. I also might have rook e7 as another option. But I think just the c4 one is good enough. I want to get my rook here, chase the bishop away, and look for some sort of tactics. I want to play queen a5 as well, because then this looks really nice. Bishop's going to have a hard time not getting itself captured. The only downside in our position really is this pawn here, shutting down my bishop. But we can fix that with f6 at the right moment too. So, or a sacrifice of some kind. Or like I said, even just dropping it back. Oh, they're going to go for it. Wow. Okay. I really didn't think it worked. Okay, so we take it. I'm pretty sure now I can play c4, guys. So let's see. What is White's idea? If they play bishop a4, I move my knight. So let's just say knight b6, bishop b6, takes. Yeah, we're just up a piece. We're just up a piece. They might have overlooked this one. Do you have any other moves? Hold on. There are some other moves, like for example, Queen A5. Huh. Can also play Knight F8. But no, then actually there's that. Okay, hold on. I don't think we can play Rook E7 because Bishop C5. Bishop A4 actually is more dangerous than I realized. Knight to here. The move Queen A5. What do I do against that? Queen C8, but then I'm losing the rook. I missed this move. Okay, let's see here, guys. What about Knight E5? Does Knight E5 save me? What's the point? Well, the point is if they take, we take. They take. Now our bishops are coming to life. We can move. This pawn is dropping. And we might just have an equal endgame. I totally missed this bishop A4 is so strong. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see a way around this, guys. I just don't see it. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to go with 95 here. That was a good move. 95 was a really good move. I should have paid more attention to it. So sometimes when you miss moves, you have to just kind of try to sacrifice the piece back and get into a playable position. That's what we're going for here. I missed. I thought I had calculated and I thought I had C4, but I didn't calculate far enough. And I missed that they had bishop A4 at the end of that. Okay, they take. I have to recapture here. I mean, I don't have to, but I think I should. Otherwise, the pressure on F7 was too strong. And now I guess we go here, but I could also go here. I'm going to defend this pawn. So if I can win this pawn back, then it's 5 pawns against 5 pawns. It's not the end of the world. And I should be able to, because I have 2 attackers and no defenders. All right, let's try to refocus. Game's not over. We missed a tactic, but it thankfully didn't end the game for us. It's nice that we have that square controlled so they can't build up the pressure on F7 at the moment. They could sacrifice the pawn here on E6. Then it kind of ruins our pawn structure, but we do get a tempo on the bishop, and it opens up this guy, which is nice. Yeah, I'm really curious too to go back and look at this game after we played Rook E8. Was H3 the main line or not? And then what should I have done? So I think we're going to learn a lot from this game. Downside to our position is the isolated pawns are weak. They don't work as well, but it's a small thing. I think we make up for it with active rooks and bishops. It was probably an equal position, I would imagine. Yeah, they do go with e6. It's a good idea to keep in mind. If you're gonna lose a pawn anyway, you may as well sacrifice it and mess up the opponent's pawn structure. So that's what they did. So that's pretty smart. Okay, bishop e4. So we could target this pawn. It's pretty easy for them to deal with it though with c3. We can try to fight for the file. The problem is I'm going to be losing this pawn. So what's the solution there? Bishop d4. I'm just losing the pawn anyway. I guess we can push it, but we got to get control of the 7th rank. We can't allow this. That would be bad news. So I think I should go here or here. Not sure which one. I'm thinking this one. Also d6. Ooh, this rook has lots of places to invade, actually. I don't like it. If I go rook c7, rook d6, we got to move the bishop somewhere. Yeah, don't love our position, actually. White's able to double up on the d file. We're going to have a tough time with this game. I mean, unfortunately, I don't see another alternative here except to just play some defense for a few moves. Maybe look for some opportunities to trade a pair of bishops. Yeah, this is pretty annoying. Rook d6, rook d1, yeah. Let's try to defend. He's going to bring the other rook. Let's try to defend. Yeah, what I'd like to do is get this rook out of here. Which I think we can do, actually. A lot of times when you're in a bind like this, trading pieces can help you, but we have to do it in a way that doesn't like just lose a bunch of pawns or lose a pawn. Because if we lose a pawn, we're going to have a tough time. Now, sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to give up a pawn just to get a somewhat aggressive position, but we'll see. Bishops and rooks are very dangerous. So I have to be careful with my king too. White's king is very safe. They have a nice place to just kind of sit. It's very hard for me to do anything. My king is a bit open. E6 was a really good move to mess up my pawns. If they didn't play E6, I think we were just great. But E6 is this pawn is very much in my way here, right? I would rather have this rook on an open file, have my king better protected. So E6 was a great move. I actually think our opponent's playing very well so far because they found knight takes d5. They found e6. So we gotta hope that they make a mistake at some point here. Okay, rook d2. How do we trade some pieces? Maybe bishop b7. Maybe bishop b7. Yeah, let's go. And even though I lose this pawn, I'm actually threatening this pawn. So I don't think they have time to take this one. If they come down now, we can get both rooks on the 7th. Okay, they decided to trade. So yeah, that I think helps us a little bit because now we don't have to worry so much about the light squares when we're thinking about moving our king and putting our rooks on places because there's no light square bishop. Okay, so they do defend, and now this is under attack. And probably just going to defend it. Rook d7 is annoying, but I think if I just defend, I don't really see how white's going to make progress there. So that's what I'll do. Of course, they can take. I take back. I keep this well defended. I think I want this pawn to be not on a dark square where it's the target. They don't have a lot of options here at this point. Because my king is cut off. My rooks are basically stuck defending this pawn. If I push it to c4 next move, though, then maybe we have some opportunities. Okay. Yeah, it's a weakness there, but it's also kind of stopping the king. It's not a target to this bishop anymore. I think this is smart. Now I can consider potentially trading off the rooks. Going into that endgame, I do have this pawn. I don't know who's better. It's probably relatively equal, I would think. I think I need to trade the rooks just to get my king off the back. That's the sole reason I want to trade the rooks, because my king has to come into the game. Remember, kings are very good pieces at the end of the game, especially when the danger of being checkmated goes away. You need to get that king into the game. Okay, he decides to take back with the rook. So now we've got control of the 7th rank. Yeah, now I feel better because now my king can at least join the party. Check here, here. Attacking the weak pawn. Here, check. It's not ideal. You don't go for that line. I am going to trade the bishop, and I'm going to start bringing the king. Okay, I feel much better now we traded those bishops. Now my king can actually just do whatever it wants. I don't have to worry about getting checkmated or falling into tactics. This pawn is actually kind of annoying for white, stopping the king. They can come the long way around. Then they also have to worry about things like this. So if they target my pawn, yeah, what am I going to do? Options are ignore it, push it, try to protect it, sacrifice this pawn. Pitazo 76. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. You're welcome. All right, so here's my plan, guys, and I'll tell you in a second if it's a good plan. Abandon that pawn, make a beeline here, and try to take these with my king. And if the moment presents itself, I have a rook with the passed pawn here. I can push this at the right moment. The thing is, if I do it right away, his king's just going to get right in front and stop me. But I'm thinking I can also make a beeline this way with my king, and then might be more dangerous. He's going to get another pawn. Yeah, and I knew this was going to happen at some point. So it's sort of going to be a race. Sort of going to be a race. So let's start pushing. We might actually now make a beeline with the king if he doesn't try to stop me right away. Because the thing is, I just need 4 moves if white does nothing. Whereas he's going to need a lot more moves because you can't just push there. I just take it, right? So you're going to have to somehow spend time to support it with your rook and maybe push another pawn. Now, of course, 3 connected pawns, there's absolutely no chance for me to stop this. There's zero chance. So I have to generate counterplay. Only chance to not lose this game, right? Only chance. So right now I'm thinking about this, but if his king comes, that doesn't really do much, right? So if his king comes, I think I have to switch plans and go for this and then try to create another pass pawn here and hope that we're able to push one of those faster than he's able to push his. Right? Now, if my king was here, maybe you could, yeah, that's a good move. So we have to, I think we have to do this. Only move that I see that makes sense. He's going to push. We take. So I could try to bring the king over. But he just goes there. If he doesn't stop me, I'll go here. Then we can start pushing this guy. But I'm pretty sure he's going to move his king. But then we can play h5, and then we're clear to push this guy. It's not that simple for white, because like I said, that you can't just push this and get a queen. I'm going to just take it. At some point, you're going to have to either put a rook there or use the other pawn. So it does get a little tricky here. I mean, I think I still have decent chances. I think I still have decent chances. Okay, let's push the H pawn now. I bet white's going to go here, but I think I have an idea for that. Actually, yeah, it's interesting. I have to go here, unfortunately, because if I don't go there, he checks me and forces my king in front of my pawn, which is really bad because then I'm stuck and I have no way to make progress with either pawn. You guys see that? So I think this is the only move to still fight on in the game. We have to make sure that we can push our pawn. Yeah, I think this is a loss, guys. I think it's a loss. Because 2 pawns on the 6th rank will beat a rook. I have one final trick, but I don't think he's going to fall for it. Yeah. That was the move that we didn't want to see. We're gonna get a queen against a rook ending, which is a loss. Should I try to hold on to the pawn? That's interesting, isn't it? So it's gonna be queen against a rook. Which, by the way, if you're playing against Stockfish, is super hard to win because Stockfish knows every trick in the book. I can't come up. That's too bad. Okay. Can I go here? Nope, I can't go there either. I have to go here because he had another fork. So yeah, this endgame, when you're playing it against Stockfish, even if you have the queen, oh, look at this guy. Our opponent is very strong. Look at this guy. All right. It's a pretty easy endgame. No, I said against Stockfish. It's not easy at all. Stockfish knows every trick in the book. It's like almost impossible. I think I tried it for hours and hours and I couldn't do it. Against Stockfish, of course. Against people, they mess up and they let you kind of trick them. But Stockfish it's very, very challenging. Yeah, our opponent, very strong player. Obviously, we never had a chance this game, actually. Okay. We'll see what we can learn. I told you queen versus rook never happens. So this is the main line, which they played. And I'm pretty sure rook e8 was a good move. They played h3. So that is not the main line. Yeah, I didn't think it was. It's not the main line. The main line is castling and f3. But Stockfish actually likes h3. So, okay. They played the Stockfish line here. Fine. e6. And most people in the database will castle. This person played queen d2, which is not really a move. Yeah, and there's no more games in the database. So already we're out of theory. I want to go back. I'm actually curious what the main line is. So the main line is that they castle. And we go d6. And then h3. And we actually go and hunt down that bishop, which is interesting. Okay. So that's if they castle and play h3. And if they play f3 right away, what's the move here? Oh, this is the line where you play e6. Oh, okay. So maybe I got my lines confused. Maybe I wasn't supposed to play e6, d5 against h3. f4 is the move. And now d6. I don't know why we're doing this. When we have to play bishop f8. Yeah, that seems pretty passive. I have to review these lines later. Okay, anyway, let's go back to the game. So they played h3, a bit of a strange move in queen d2. They traded. Oh, they played e5 first. We went back. f4. They castled. Yeah. And I allowed knight d5. If I don't play c5, I'm doing okay. It's roughly equal. But queen c7, I need to play first. I need to not walk into that. That's a really hard tactic to kind of see. It just looks like it's so well defended. But so they hit me with that one. c4 is the best move. And after bishop a4, Stockfish says, oh, now it wants me to sacrifice? Because now if you try to take my rook, oh my goodness, knight to d3 check. What is this? Then take on e8. They move their rook over here. Then we go rook b8, sacrificing it. They can't take or they lose, so they have to go bishop d4. Then we go rook d8. I mean, this is not stuff that you can calculate in a 15-minute game. Okay, anyway. That's what Stockfish wanted. c4 and then sacrifice. I did it first. Okay. They do play e6 to get rid of the pawn. They come in. They come over. Curious about this endgame. So yeah, this endgame actually, I made the wrong decision. This was totally the wrong decision, abandoning the pawn. Stockfish says you have to play a5. You have to play rook c5. And now you run up with the king. And now you come over with the king. Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense now that I've seen, because I've seen how the game ended. You don't give them a clear pass pawn. Even though they have 2 against 1 here and 3 against 2 here, they don't have any passed pawns. Meanwhile, I have 1. And my king is pretty active. I kind of put all my eggs in one basket here of, let me see if I can, sorry, back to the position. Let me see if I can push this, but that just doesn't work. And they played it perfectly too. Yep. I was hoping they were going to go here, and then we have a trick, rook g3 check, and rook h3, and we actually could win the game if this happened, but it could have also gone back this way, and then it's actually a draw. How is this a draw? e7. Oh, they actually updated it so it automatically switches to the table base. Oh, that's cool. If you guys haven't seen this before, that's kind of neat. See that? It shows you the moves, and then it doesn't even give you the engine evaluation. It just gives you the table base line of like, this is what it is. Engines can sometimes be wrong. Table bases are, you know exactly that it's correct. So this is a draw. Because we both get the queens, and then it's just going to be some kind of perpetual check. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I told you that queen versus rook never happens. Yeah. Well, I guess I was wrong. Okay. Tough opponent. They played very well, though. I mean, that was really great game from the opponent. We had a tricky middle game, tricky end game. They navigated everything nicely. So, all right, I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back. Oh, oops. Sorry. Oh, this is a new account. Why did I rematch? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. It's okay. It looks legit. So we were supposed to get white. Now we're playing black again. And they're thinking. They're thinking already. That's not a good sign. Okay. Well, it's the line that we just looked at. So let's see if we learn anything here. So last opponent played h3, but castles and f3 are much more common, as I said. I assume we take this way and avoid the queen trade. It does allow this move, though. So maybe I should have taken the other way. We'll check that after the game. The thing is... Well, what is the thing? Hold on. First of all, knight h5 looks like it loses a piece to g4, as far as I can tell. So I think we have to go here and sacrifice a pawn. Which tells me maybe I was supposed to take and allow the queen trade. I don't know. But in this particular moment, I believe this is my only option. Yeah, okay. So we'll go there. Oh, this is losing. I just fell for an opening trap. Wow. Queen a5 check doesn't help me because they can go back. I totally just fell for an opening trap, guys. Oh my. I mean, I guess technically it's not game over, but it's probably pretty bad. All right, let's think. E6 takes check. No chance there. Probably have to allow this move. Yeah, I totally messed this all up. I messed this all up. Could also play rook b8. Probably better to get the bishop out. Let's play bishop here. Well, this is what happens when you try to learn new openings. You have to go through this phase of, you know, you fall for tricks, you miss tactics because you're not familiar with playing those positions. So unfortunately, the only way around it is to play and learn from your mistakes, which is what we're doing now. Of course, they're going to take this. I guess I'm supposed to take with the pawn. I mean, with the other pawn. If you play rook e8, because you lose the square for the knight, which I didn't think about. In my mind, I was thinking I don't want to waste a move, but I guess the point is your position is fine if they make this trade and trade queens, so don't worry about losing the move, I guess. What are they thinking about not taking this? Why would you not take that? Okay. So we're down, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 pawns. We do have some open files and diagonals. Still don't think it's a good position, but let's see if we can make the best of it. Queen c7. I guess we have to do this one. So we're targeting the pawn. We're also potentially setting up bishop b7 here. They're going to probably play f4. You can also play d6. Yeah, we have a little bit of counterplay. A little bit. Okay, so I can get one pawn back. The problem is after the trade, I'm going to lose another pawn. Should be 7. I'm still losing that. Oh, I thought I could trap the rook, but I can't even do that because... Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it's just a bad situation we're in here, guys. All right, let's do this. It's just a bad situation. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. Queen takes d7. If we take on e5, we do have a nice little threat there. I don't actually think it works, though. We have a check. The king runs. Then we're all out of tricks. I can't even take that. I have to just take this. Okay, let's put the bishop there. We are threatening this pawn. You know what? Maybe I should have considered bishop h3. I'm honestly kind of done with this game. I want to just move on, see what I did wrong, and play the next game because I think it's already just lost. 2 pawns is too much against a decent player. It's about to be 3 pawns too. Can't, as we saw in the last game, you can't stop 3 connected pass pawns. You have nothing else going on. I think white could do whatever they want in this position. You know, taking here is probably fine. Just trading those pawns. G3 is probably fine. E6 might be fine. I mean, they could basically do anything that they want. But we did get 2 back-to-back games at the same opening. So you, in theory, you'd think we'd be learning from this experience. I don't know why they're thinking so long in this position, though. This is like, just pick a move. You have so many good moves. Just pick one. You can even play bishop f7 if you want. Like, okay. I mean, it's, of course, it's losing, but it's too early to resign. I mean, you shouldn't resign just because you're down 2 pawns, but it's definitely a losing position. I mean, I know that this is not the main line because we looked it up, right? We saw that the main moves were castling and f3, which means this was, I don't know what this move was. Maybe just capture this way, and then if they play here, you just drop your knight back. Okay, they finally decide to make a move. Let's just move the bishop here. I'm still attacking this pawn on e5, just trying to keep the bishop centralized if possible. They defend the pawn. Makes sense. Let's save that pawn since it was about to get captured. Also, we could play a4 and attack the bishop here. Okay, now they're going to force the trade. Let's go ahead and take it. Mm-hmm. Play e6. Why not? Maybe I'll try to target this pawn here. Bishop h6, rook f8. Of course, it's going to be a losing endgame because of the 3 against 1 over here. Unless they blunder a rook or something. Uh-huh. Okay. If I go bishop h6 now that there's rook h3, look at that move. So, yeah, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Uh-huh. Even if I went there now, rook h3, yeah, takes, we actually get checkmated. Maybe I should go rook f5 and swing a rook here. You don't want to trade pieces if you're down like this, because you just if you trade to an endgame, it's even easier for them, right? You have to keep the rooks to try to generate some sort of counterplay. Okay, so my plan, somehow do something like this, win a pawn, and, push and hope for a blunder, I guess. All right, now we can target the pawn because they don't have rook h3 anymore. Maybe even here. Okay, so I'm threatening to take that one. Of course, they can defend. Okay, there's the defensive move. Let's go ahead and attack it again. It does cost us a pawn over here. Yep, so it's actually just a trade. I don't really want to trade pieces, so I'm going to try to keep as many on the board as I can. So we'll take this way. Problem is I have to get the king into the game, I think. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just a loss, right? But I'll try to do this. They attack my bishop. We defend. It's going to force another trade, though. Try to get the king in front of the pawns. Let's try to blockade here. See if white knows how to win with 3 extra pawns. It's not that difficult, so... Yeah, and there, they've done it. Is there any stalemate traps? Just trying to set up a stalemate trap. Okay, well, let's checkmate. All right, let's see what we did wrong. I think maybe we just take with the other pawn, but let's see if we can learn from this game. Okay, 91. So, we've seen this exact line, rook e8, and we know the main line is castling, which apparently nobody is playing. Okay, knight takes e6 is a move, but it's one of the not played very often moves. It is a stockfish move, though, so stockfish likes it. So what's the response? Yeah, it's d takes. You have to take with the d pawn. So I just fell for an opening trap. I literally just fell for an opening trap. If I take this way, even though I lose a move with the rook, my position is totally fine. And if they push here, you always can now do other stuff like knight g4. And if they push right away again, yeah. Because it it opens up the bishop. So you get a very nice square for the knight to jump to. All right, so I have to just remember, if the rook moves to e8 and they take immediately, I have to just take that way. Yeah, this has actually been played in 4 games. And wow, somehow black held on in the games, but I don't know how they did it. Wow. Okay, hold on. Black played this line 2,700. Let's see how this game ended. They actually won the game. How did black win this game, guys? They played rook b8, king h8, e6. Oh, wow. White blundered their queen. They got their queen trapped. Oh my goodness. Why didn't my opponent do something ridiculous like that? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a totally lost position. I mean, there's not even much to learn. It's just an opening trap. Don't fall for the opening trap. That's all it is. Okay. Man, all these accounts that were created in 2026. I don't like it. All right, whatever. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so they accept. That's cool. That's exciting. So we're going to develop the pieces to the typical squares here. Knight's going on f3, bishop's going on c4, queen's going on e2. We're castling. And then we're going to look for sacrifices and attacking options. So they are thinking already, which means they're probably not super familiar with this. They go with g6. G6. Let's go bishop c4. The only thing I remember about this is that I think we're supposed to like throw this pawn forward super early. Oh man, I don't remember exactly when the moment is. Pretty sure we're supposed to throw it forward. Oh yeah. It's because if they take it, you have this sacrifice where you can play queen d5. That's the idea. It might even be right here. It might even be right here, guys. Man, I don't remember. Let's do it. What do you think, guys? Let's do it. I'm gonna check the book. Where's my book? I'm gonna get my book and check it after the game. Hold on. Where's my book? Where's my book? I found it. It's Mark Esserman's book on the Smith-Morra. Okay, so he goes for knight c6. So what's the deal? Sorry, what's the deal now? I guess we just play knight f3 because the same tactic works. Check takes check, and if they play king f6, like they're going to be in trouble, right? Coming out like that. At least I think they are. No, guys, I'm not reading the book now. I'm going to read it after the game. I'm not. I haven't opened it yet. Okay, this is just the front cover. All right, relax, everybody, relax. I just wanted to be ready so that I could check after the game, guys. Like the point is, well, I already showed you the tactic that we have if they take it right away. But the other point is it stops the natural move knight f6. And if they play d6, we have a couple of options. We have option number one, we can take and create an isolated pawn, which is kind of awkward. Option number two, which is what I think we're going to do, is shove it forward on e6 to really jam up black's position. So I think that's the whole point. So he goes for knight to h6. Okay, we need to think here. We need to think here because I don't know what I should do. So option one, if we take that, then we've lost the bishop pair. What do we get in return? I don't think we get much, if anything. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. Of course, just castling makes sense. Now, I don't think our little tactic works anymore because now the knight can defend, but he can't actually do that. h3 is sometimes a move. And if they go here, you hit him with g4. So I'm pretty sure my moves are going to be castle or h3. I mean, there are other moves, like bishop f4 is another move. Queen b3, no, we're not playing queen b3. Yeah, bishop f4, actually queen d2. But I think I like the h3 g4 idea, because if we trap that knight, then the bishop can come out with queen d2. So h3 is super tempting, but castling is also tempting as well. I'm going to go h3. We'll check. We're going to check the book afterwards. But I'm going to go h3. Because this knight is super awkward. If we get g4 in, what's the knight going to do, right? It's not going to have anywhere to move. And if you go there straight away, I'm still going to play g4. And where are you going to move the knight to? It's basically trapped. Has to go back. They can castle, of course, but then again, g4. It's very awkward. Can I talk a little bit about the book? Yeah, so Mark Esserman is an international master who wrote this book called Mayhem in the Morra. And As far as I know, he's the strongest player who plays it regularly and who's actually like studied it the most. So he put everything into a book, all of the ideas and recommended lines. He has lots of his games. He plays it a lot online, I think, in like speed chess games, but still a lot of the games are still very instructive as far as the ideas and whatnot. And he's actually played it in like OTB classical games as well. Let's play G4. So yeah, as far as I know, it's the best book on the Mora. And it's all about that opening. It's a lot of theory. It's a lot for most people. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like 350 pages on one opening. So you can't really remember everything. The way that I use it is like a reference book. So I'll play a game and then I'll pull it up like I'm going to do after this game and see, okay, what was I supposed to do against the G6 lines? Because I don't exactly remember. I just remember like one little thing about it. I think it's E5, and we'll see the details. So we got what we wanted here, I think, where the knight is completely out of the game. He goes D6. Okay. Can I play bishop G5? Queen C1 and win the knight? It appears that might work. It's not that simple, though. Knight D4. What's happening if I take? Is he going to take this way or this way? The other option is to play E6. Could also play bishop E3 instead of bishop G5, because then, well, I guess you could still play knight D4, huh? You could still play knight D4. I take, pawn has to take, then I take here. Still losing a piece, though. And if I push first, bishop takes, and then go bishop G5, then I have to worry about the rook on this file. That's not ideal. If I trade and he takes with the pawn, I'd be happy, but he's going to take with the queen. He's going to take with the queen. See, I don't know what to do here, guys. I really don't know what to do. Bishop E3 takes queen C1. Knight D4 is such an annoying move. Man, okay. I feel like we have to somehow trap this knight. So bishop G5 takes queen C1 here. We take. If he takes with the queen, what if I just retreat? Like, what if I just do that? What's the move? What's he going to play? His knight's still trapped. His knight is still trapped. I think we win the piece. If he takes with the pawn, we move the knight. You just move the knight. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. If I'm missing something, I'm missing something, and we will learn. But let me try to trust my calculations here and go for it. If he doesn't go for this line, what else is he going to play? Because this is coming real soon, right? And that knight is trapped. I guess technically you could play king g8 and knight g8, but who wants to play that, right? Nobody wants to play that. Nobody wants to put their knight on g8. Well, they're definitely thinking about it. Of course, there's tons of options for black. Like this is just one potential line that I was looking at. There's all kinds of things they could play. Like I said, king h8 is probably not out of the question. Knight takes is probably another way to do it, although I don't see how that really helps them. I don't know if knight a5 or queen a5 is a move. Queen b6. Bishop e6. I mean, there's so many moves black can play. They do go for king h8. Okay. Well, let's make the knight go back. If that's the position they want to play, we'll let them play it. All right. I think I want a castle. I mean, I definitely want to throw this pawn down, but I don't think we're ready for that yet. I think we need to get the king out of the middle and put the pressure here as well. So let's do that first. And I'm going to be keeping my eye on this idea. Because once we open up the H file, it gets super dangerous for black's king, right? I have to watch out for bishop g4, but I'd be willing to potentially sacrifice that rook to open it up. But if we could stop bishop g4, it might just make our life easier. So I don't know about maybe queen f4 to protect that, and then we launch Harry. Also, I mean, we do have a lot of pressure just on the d-pawn, so we could just take that too. We are only down a pawn. It's not like we've sacked anything crazy yet, so that's pinned, so he's going to take with the bishop. We can play f4, that's fine. He's probably just going to go back. Then we can play h4. Yeah, bishop g4 move is so annoying. Okay, so if I take bishop takes f4 with the tempo, let's just say he goes here. h4, I don't see how we deal with that. I mean, yes, we can go there, but okay, what about queen g2? What about queen g2? Well, then we go h4, h5, and we take it. I like it. I like it. So we'll take here first. We'll play f4. We'll swing the queen over, then we'll play h4. There's no bishop g4. I'm willing to give up my bishop if I have to, as long as it opens up the h file. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Here we go. Here we go. This is how you launch an attack. We're going to bring the queen. We're going to push the H pawn. We're going to take here. We're going to open him up. Normally, I wouldn't care so much about a pawn, but in this particular case, allowing that bishop to take that pawn makes it much more difficult for us to play h5 and open it up because they just take, and then we still have to figure out how do we get through here. There's quite a wall with the bishop and the pawn that's hard to deal with. Now, maybe we can do it and sack the rook to open it up and still get through, but I'm thinking queen g2 is just a cleaner way to do it, and then we don't even have to worry about the bishop coming into the picture at all. I'm assuming he's not giving up his bishop for this knight. That would be probably kind of silly. I mean, I guess they could, but then the king looks really exposed. So I'm expecting something like this or this. And I'm going to go queen g2. I mean, there are other moves and other plans, but I really like this one. Yeah, that's what he does. Like, okay, knight here or here might not be as crazy as it looks. Let's go queen g2. So now we're ready to push the h pawn. The question is, how is black going to try to stop us, right? How is black going to try to stop this? Because once the rook is there, it's almost guaranteed that we're going to have a checkmate. So black has to think of something quick. Yeah, it's not so simple. Not to mention the time pressure is going to start coming into play here in a little while. I mean, I feel pretty good. We haven't even sacked any pieces yet. We've only sacked a couple pawns. So I feel pretty good. Our king feels pretty safe. Sorry. King feels pretty safe. We can tuck it over here if we need to get away from anything on the c file. And we have a very clear plan of attack. Push the pawn, trade it off, open up the rook, checkmate the king. All right, 5-minute mark. What are they going to do? Guys, don't forget the free newsletter. Links in the description. You get 2-minute video sent straight to your inbox. It's like a practical tip. Highly recommend it. Okay, they want to play b5 and go here. Okay, fine. I don't think I really care. h4. The reason I don't care is because I can put a piece here to block that very easily. Or I can just move my queen and let him take and replace it with another rook, and we're back in business. So both of those seem reasonable. But probably if they go there, I would just move the bishop there, take control of the diagonal. h6. Okay, now we have to think. Now we have to think. We have a lot of options here. Let's just make a list of possible moves and then calculate them one at a time. Possible move number 1, take the bishop. Possible move number 2, take the pawn. Possible move number 3, ignore it and play h5. Let's start with h5. If they take me, I take with check. Only move that makes sense would be king here. Rook comes down, check. They take. Check, bishop f5. Yeah, checkmate. So we win. So they can't take me. They can take with the bishop. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's got to be the best. I mean, this one, it brings the knight out. We could still attack. This one, that my point was I was going to get a fork, but my pawn is still in the way. I mean, h5 just seems like the best. Let's go. I don't even think we need to recalculate that. It was pretty clean. Boom, 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 checkmate. Mate with the bit. That's a beautiful checkmate, by the way. That's a beautiful checkmate. With the rook sitting on h7, with the bishop on f5, like, you don't see that every day. I don't think we're going to see it because they're going to see that and not play it, but that's a nice one. What's up, Anthony? How's it going? So Black's problem is you can't really avoid this trade. Either they take me and I get the rook to come through that way, or I take them and the rook comes through. That is Black's problem. Bishop e6. Okay. Seems like a weird move. Let's start with the obvious move, ignoring it. So we take. We lose a piece. We take. I do have a threat, so let's say they take me. I take check, they move. It's not exactly clear. Also, I'm wondering, why would I just give up the bishop for no reason when I could just trade it? Let's say we trade and take here. Then that also opens up the h-file. Looks good. You do have king g7. We take, we play g5. I guess that's got to be winning. We can also keep the bishop on the board with bishop d3, which also looks very good. Yeah, sometimes some of the toughest moves in chess are when you have two really good options and you don't know which one to choose. That's what I'm feeling about these moves. They both feel very good for me. This one does open up his rook. I mean, not immediately because my pawn's going to be there, but like I'm envisioning maybe the queen can take that if I try to defend, trade. Like, yeah, I'm envisioning somehow black is, I mean, yeah, I think we should go here. Because the bishop's not really doing anything here. It's hardly doing anything. Meanwhile, my bishop is still playing a significant role. Yeah, I think this is better. We'll check after the game and see what Stockfish thinks about that. I mean, that also looks really good because of the immediate attack here, but I kind of just feel like this is maybe even better. Because now the pieces can't really get to the king's aid. They're sort of clogged up, right? That's my logic. We'll see what Stockfish says after the game, but this feels pretty good. Because like this could be very valuable, right? Controlling there. If this trade happens, for example, like that square might be very useful. Whereas this is like, what is that? It doesn't really matter. I don't know. Interesting. It was interesting both ways, I think. Okay, he's trying to generate some sort of counterplay. I just don't see too much for him. I think I want to take here. I'm just not sure if they take me. I take the queen does come over. I run over here. What's the alternative? We could just go ahead and trade those bishops straight away. Probably the knight would come out. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's say the knight comes out. Then we take here with that threat. Oh, that looks really good. And if the pawn takes, I also feel like we trade and play g5 and we just come crashing through. Let's go ahead, because I don't want this bishop to come down here and start causing my king problems. So let's trade it, open up the rook. And I think we're in business. Okay. So let's continue with the attack, I believe. Got to open up this guy. So I think that's a no-brainer. And then probably g5 is how we continue. Oh, he ignores me. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so g5 is what I would like to play. The rook sacrifices, we take, queen takes. We move or we block. Alternatively, I take a moment to defend. I mean, I don't like defending, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. The thing is that then bishop g4, I lose my pawn that I kind of need. All right, let's go. Let's go. I think we're okay. I think we can play bishop c2 and be fine. Now we might be threatening rook h6. The idea is if knight takes, we move our queen, and then we're coming in for checkmate, I believe. It's going to be hard for black to stop that. So they kind of have to do this. No, they don't. So we take that. Same kind of a deal, same threat. We're going to sack the rook and bring the queen over. Actually, though, there's queen g5 now because he traded. That's actually interesting. Okay, but I could just push and take, and that's a different way to do it. Uh-huh. Trying to understand what happens if we end up going into that end game. I think it's good for us, although it's not exactly clear to me. He's going to sack this, I believe. No, he doesn't. Let's see, guys. What do we do? What do we do here? My idea is I want to be able to play queen d4 if I need to. Okay, I can't take it. Obviously, it's pinned, but it doesn't really threaten much. Or does it? No, I don't think it threatens too much. So we could take this. If he takes back check, let's see. He's got that move. Not sure what to do here, guys. I am not sure what to do. Obviously gonna have to make a move. Am I mated if I go there? I think I'm mated. Man. I am mated. Ah. Guys. I'm sure we had a win. I'm so sure we had a win. What an awful game. Well, you're winning at one moment, but only one moment. We weren't winning at the end. Okay, hold on. Before we get into I need to check the chapter. So let's go to the book. This is the book I mentioned. Let's see. Okay. So slaying the dragon should be the chapter. Okay, so takes G6 on move 4. Okay, so yeah, I actually played E5 way too early. I played it way too early. So he recommends. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I guess the main line, the bishop's on C4, the bishop's on G7, the knight's on F3, and the knight is on C6. So actually, maybe we transposed. Did we transpose to that position? I think we did. Okay. On move 7. Yeah, we transposed. So he just recommends developing these first and then playing E5. Okay. So, knight H6. Is that even listed? Let's see. Hold on. He lists knight H6 at the next move. So he lists queen A5 first. Let me see the database. Most people actually play knight H6, which is the engine move, though. This is the move that actually Stockfish recommends. Let me see if he covers this in the theory section. Hold on. Hold everything. Yeah, here it is. Knight H6. Okay, so he recommends castling. So remember, I was not sure. Yeah, he recommends castling, not this H3 G4 plan. Which I thought it turned out okay in the game, though. But apparently, the line given here is castles, bishop F4, and then you're going to play queen D2, and the game goes on. Okay, so I kind of messed that up. Let's see. But that being said, I did get into a winning position at one point. F4 was not the right move. Queen G2 was not the right move. Oh, man. H4, what a mess. So that was my brilliant move. Bishop takes E6 was the winning move, guys. This was the winning move. I was so close to playing it too, because I was like, yeah, this looks really good. Well, I literally said it to myself. This looks really good. The problem is I also thought this looked really good, but this is not really good. It's not nearly as good. It's okay, but it's not. I have to play King B1 and try to defend a little bit here. Now I'm just losing. What a mess. And then I didn't see this. Well, that's chess for you. All right, so if we would have played Bishop E6, we were going to just win the game. Yeah, I mean, this is crushing. What was I afraid of? Some queen move? I mean, that doesn't even do anything. You're coming crashing through here. Like, I don't know. All right. Rough night. We're losing all our points. We're losing all our points. Have I even won a single game? I don't think so. I don't think we've won a single game, guys. Let me see. What's our record looking like? We had one draw, right? Oh, I did win one game. I did win one game. Okay. I forgot about that. We won one game. Oh, it's the same person. It's the same person. They're going to play. Let's see if they play E5 again. No, now they play the Caro-Kann. Okay. They didn't want any part of the King's Gambit. This is the person we won against earlier. All right. I guess we got to do it. I guess we got to do it. When you need a win, you got to play the Von Hennig Gambit. Am I right? Uh-oh. Opponent is playing quick. Oh, no. They know the theory. Oh, no. What have we done? Guys, what have we done? Well, what to do? I know for a fact this is the engine line. And the fact that they know it is not good for us. Is Queen E2 a move here? I don't even know if it's a move. I don't think it's a good move. I'm pretty sure we have to just like go back and lose the piece, and then I don't actually remember. I don't actually remember, guys. Okay, let's go back. This is a risk. This is a risk when you play a gambit like this. If they know the stockfish line, which clearly our opponent knows. Man. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? It's just going to be one of those nights. Yeah, this is kind of the one problem with the line. If they somehow know to play h6, which the only way you really know that is if you've seen the line before. Because I've played this against, like, I don't know how many strong players. Nobody plays h6 unless they know it. But I think it's becoming more like known now, probably because I've been playing it for like years online like this. So people are like learning, like, just play h6 there. It's kind of an unintuitive move, right? Like, why would you play h6? But yeah, it's the best way to deal with it. But we still have to play the rest of the game out, so you never know. Sorry, guys, drinking too much water here. Okay, 97. I guess we bring the rook over. I'm going to try to generate some counterplay along the H file, I guess. Or maybe here. Also feel like there's a decent chance the opponent is watching this stream. I probably should keep some of my ideas to myself. I do have a few ideas. We'll see if we can catch them on some of them. Okay. Let's go here. Do have some nice pressure on F7 here. And I'm trying to avoid trades. Of course, you don't want to trade when you're down material. We are down a piece. But as long as we don't trade any pieces, there's still a lot of game left to be played. So they're trying to force the issue. Looks like it might cost them a pawn, though, but I think I do have to make a trade. Now, do we want to keep the knight or the bishop? Keep the knight or the bishop? Hmm. I mean, usually the answer is you keep the bishop, but in this position, the knight comes with a nice tempo on the rook. Looking if there's some options there, but we're going to play like knight b6 or knight f6. All right. I guess we keep the bishop. I don't know. Okay, there's the knight move that we expected. I think I have to draw back now. So we have 2 pawns now. 2 pawns is much better than 1 pawn. Like 1 pawn is not ever enough. 2 pawns, sometimes in an endgame, you can do something with 2 connected pawns. But we'll see. Of course, it shouldn't be enough. You really need like 3 pawns in an endgame for it to be equal. But they look nice and healthy, right? The pawn chain is very strong, so it's not that easy for black to just instantly win the game. Okay. What should I do? What should I do? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's go here, I guess. Let's go here. The thing is, these pawns in the center kind of are controlling some nice squares, along with this bishop. It's very strong. So black has to figure out how to work around these, right? Now, I can't really push them down the board because they become weak as soon as they start getting pushed. But if I just leave them, it's not that simple for black to, they don't want to move these pawns because their king gets weak. I mean, you could push these, I guess, but that's, So they're going to be looking for ways to trade pieces, and I'm going to be looking to not trade. Okay, they go there. All right, let's go back. Queen was under attack. He doubles up the rooks. Yep, yep, yep. I don't know. I guess we'll play h4. We got to do something. We got to do something. Unfortunately, we don't have a time advantage. I remember last time this person messed up in the time pressure, but they have a lot of time right now, so don't know if that's going to happen. But like one way to think of it is, if Stockfish was playing with the white pieces, would Stockfish win? Well, of course. Stockfish is going to beat anybody, only down two pawns for a piece. So there's always a chance. You just have to wait for the opponent to make a mistake and then take advantage of it, right? Okay. Brings the rook up. Wow, that move just looks so dangerous. You know what? I might actually have a move here. Hold on a second. I think I have a really great move, guys. I think I have a really great move. I wanted to play rook takes f7. And if he takes my queen, I actually win the game. You guys see how I win the game? So calculate this in your mind. Takes. And then white has a winning move. Beautiful move, actually. Okay, if you had a chance to pause and think, it's rook f8 checkmate. It's a double check. Defended by the rook. The problem with rook f7 is he just plays bishop takes f7. And even though I go check, He moves. I can't actually take that because my queen is hanging. So I don't think that was the move. But this move, pawn can't take. It's pinned. If the queen takes, I'm going to take here and I get a fork. He's got to sack the queen, I think, or let me take either way. Essentially, I win a pawn. So now it's 6 pawns against 3 pawns. Black has the knight. But now we're getting into that endgame where, okay, now the pawns can actually start being valuable. Because at some point, if we trade all the rooks, let's just say I have 2 against 1, I can create a pass pawn here. I have these pawns here. The knight, might have a hard time. So I think we're clawing our way back into this game 1 pawn at a time. And I don't believe we can get away with that. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so here we go. Now it's a question of, do I want to play the end game or keep the rooks on the board? I don't mind the end game, but I also feel like my rooks are slightly better positioned. So it might make sense to keep this battery going here. Just go back and then push the pawns or something. I don't know. This is a tough decision, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the rooks on the board for right now. Yeah, we do have to be careful here. Might have messed up. I probably should have put my rook on f4 instead of f5. I thought I could play king h2, but I actually can't do that. Yeah, I messed that up a little bit. I should have gone here right away. I wasted a move, essentially. I mean, it's not a huge deal in this position, but still kind of annoyed that I didn't see that. I thought I could play king here and then run my king up, but I don't have time. Just check and forks my rooks. He's going to force a trade here. Yeah, I think this person is assuming that this is a winning endgame for them, but I mean, maybe it is, but it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be as easy as they think it is. 3 pawns against the knight is actually kind of tough. So let's see if we can. Let's see if we can generate some counterplay here with the pawns. This is where I have to be careful, this area of the board. The reason is if black is able to force, like capture these pawns and keep theirs alive, I will lose. I have to be very careful that that doesn't happen. And of course, I can't go crazy and just throw these forward without thinking, because if the knight jumps over there and starts taking them all, I will also lose. So I have to do this very carefully. So the first thing I'm going to do is create this sort of wall that black's king cannot cross. You guys see that? So that is important. We can't have the king just invading into our position. Okay. And I think I'm also going to push this one and take away all the squares from the knight going forward as well. If I don't walk into any checks, now I can bring my king up. Of course, if we trade all the pawns, we can get a draw easily, maybe even have winning chances. But we're a long ways off from that. But the fact that I've got the king kind of boxed out of the position, I mean, look at this. My pawns are just like amazing. Look at that wall. As long as the knight can't start jumping around causing us problems, we're in good shape, especially if we can get our king to a nice active square like e5, where we have options to go either way. I think it's going to be hard for black to... I mean, it might be hard for them to draw this. Definitely very hard to win. So the only options that the knight really has are here and here, most likely. I think I should start with the king. Because now I do have a clear path to potentially threaten this. Knights are bad at stopping outside passed pawns, so if we did capture that and started pushing this, the knight would have a big problem. So most likely black's king is going to have to stay here. And then it's a question of, can I start pushing these guys down the board and winning? Yeah, this is actually a really interesting endgame. The 3 pawns against the knight. This might be the perfect configuration for us, though, because if he does let us trade a pawn here and get a passed pawn, like that's really great as a decoy, right? Very common idea in these king and pawn endings is if you can create a decoy that lures the pieces away, then your king can make a beeline and you can maybe win on the other side of the board. So these are the things that we need to think about for the next few minutes here. Of course, black is thinking about the same stuff, and they're going to be trying to stop us from doing that. Okay, so we have a couple of options. Option number 1, we push the pawn. The king's probably going to go here. We're going to end up with this pawn chain like this. Now, good news is it's a nice pawn chain that's well defended. Bad news is his king can easily invade. But if the king does invade, we're going to invade over here. So that's probably okay. Alternatively, we leave it. We start with g5. The thing about g5 that scares me, guys, is g6. And I don't want him to create a blockade here. But if I play immediately king g4, knight moves h5, we do get our passed pawn, which is good. Not an h pawn. I'd love it for it to be a passed h pawn. So g5 is okay. Also, we could play h5. But then he does have king f6, and the knight can jump in. So we could start with check and then go h5. Then there's no king f6. Then we're going to get this in for sure and get the passed h pawn. But then his king, if I do have this pawn chain, he has the move b5. The idea is if we take, he's going to end up taking everything. We'll still have 2 against 1, and we'll have the passed pawn here. Oh boy. All right. I'm leaning towards h5. I think, okay, if he wants to go king f6 and blockade here, fine. Then we start pushing on the other side, right? Alternatively, I play check, and when he goes here, I actually go for b4 to stop the king. But then again, this move b5 is an issue. So maybe I could consider something like a4. Then he has a5 and he stops my pawn. So maybe we start with a b4. This is very complicated. All right. How big of a deal is it that it's a passed h pawn instead of a... I think it's a pretty big deal. I think it's a pretty big deal. I'm going to force this and try to get h5 and g5 in. Yeah, I think this is a very big deal, getting the passed h pawn. And his king can't go crazy, actually, and take these, because if you do, then I have 2 passed pawns and the knight's in trouble. So it's not that easy. Even though the king has a way in, it's not like obvious how he can make use of that. If I'm smart about when I push my pawns, that is. b5, we could just play b3 right now. Alternatively, we take and play a4, b3, put our pawns like this. It's going to take him a few moves to go after this, and if he does, we can always play this and sneak by here. So again, there's still a lot left to happen here in this game. But this h pawn is going to be a problem, because I mean, if you think about it, if I tie up this knight to just stop an h pawn, then my king comes over here and it's essentially 4 against 2, and his knight can't do anything about it, because if the knight ever moves, I get a queen. And if he has to waste time bringing his king all the way back over there, I'd probably come up and just get a queen with this pawn. So I think black might already be in trouble. So yeah, king c5, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go b3. He can play b5, but I'll just leave it. Let him take. If he takes here, then he has to deal with this pawn. And in the meantime, so king c5, b3, b5. I think g5 takes. Push. The knight goes back. h6 takes. The king attacks me. We push. He takes. We go h7. Yeah, we win the game. No, knight f8. Oh, he's got a crazy move. He's got a crazy move. I just noticed something. He's got a crazy move. Knight f8. Look at my king and queen. That's a fork. Oh boy. I have to recalculate now. b5. G5. Takes, D6. Knight of Fate. H6. Takes, King C5. Attacks my pawn. You know, you know what's crazy? I could push this pawn, but it's the same issue. He goes back, and when I get the queen, it's another fork. You gotta be kidding me. This is nuts. Both of these pawns will be forked by the knight on one of these squares. This is wild. Okay, so we have to figure out a way around that line that I just showed you. What is the way around? So G5 takes. D6. He's got to stop it. So he plays Knight of Fate. If I move the king up, he attacks me. I push it. He's got to take it. I play H6. He goes back. Or let's say he takes first. Takes, then he goes back. I go up. That might be a draw. The other thing we could do is take here. And I'm having a hard time evaluating what's going on if I do that. He could just get rid of that pawn straight away. Now we don't even have a pass pawn. That's the issue. At least not right away. He takes this one, we still have the pass pawn, but he's also in time to catch it, which I don't like. What if I immediately go for the knight? Takes. Here. If he takes me, I take the knight and I win. So he has to move it, let's just say. Then we push that one, I think we win. Oh, this is so complicated, guys. All right. So I have two main moves. Either it's King F5 or it's G5. I don't think G5 wins. I think G5 takes. Here. What if okay, hold on. What if I do this? What if I go King E5, let him go back, then go H6, takes. He goes back. King F5, takes. We go here, check, takes. So many forks. There's so many knight forks, guys. This one is interesting too, right? Because if he does go for this, we will get A4 and we could potentially make another pass pawn there. So that might actually be the winning move. Oh, I'm so torn here, guys. All right. I'm just feeling this is the line, but I could be wrong. I'm not actually able to calculate everything here. So let's go with King F5. We're trying to invade with our king on G6 here. Because if we win this pawn, we have two connected pawns. That should be a win too. So it kind of gives me more different ways to win. You don't have to win just by pushing these pawns, because I don't think that was a win. This way is another way. We could take this, have two connected pawns. We also could bring the king and support this in some cases. So there's a lot of things we could do. This one's going to be really interesting to check with Stockfish afterwards to see what the different ramifications were from taking or from just ignoring it and pushing. Like, very interesting position. Now black has a critical decision. Of course, I can pre-move this recapture if they decide to go for it. They can play Knight F8, which temporarily keeps my king out, but you're not actually able to stop me from pushing these pawns. So I don't know that really helps them. And then it gives me the option to, at that point, trade here. Or just continue pushing. Knight f8, g5. Takes, takes, takes. We push. He attacks me. I push. He takes h6. Takes, takes. Yeah, the knight gets back in time. That's the problem. So I think on knight f8, I am going to take here now. And change it up a little bit. And then play g5 maybe. Knight f8 takes, then g5. I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. Okay, he takes. All right, so we take back. He's going for this line. All right. So if I push, the knight goes back. I push, he attacks me, I push. Yeah, that's not the line I want. This is what I want to do here, I think. The question is, do I want to push first? No, I don't think so. I think we have to go and take this pawn. Ah, he wants... Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. He's going to give me the 2 pawns? Okay. I know this has got to be a win for me, right? It's got to be a win for me. Okay, well, here we go. The problem for black is you can't... I mean, you could sack your knight for 1 pawn, sure, but you're not going to be able to sack it for both pawns, and your king is... This is going to take you forever to do this plan. Yeah, must be a win. Well, somehow we did it. It just goes to show you that learning opening theory can only take you so far in chess, right? It can only take you so far. Let's push it. Let's push it. Push it again. He's going to let me get a queen. We did it. We did it. We won a game. We won a game. All right. We have a lot to talk about in that endgame. That was super interesting endgame. Let's take a look. Let us take a look. Let's see this graph too, because it's going to be... Yeah, look at that. His opening preparation got him to here, and then we just took it over. We took it over. All right. So this is a risk with this line. If they know to play the move h6 here, you're just in a really bad position. Apparently, bishop b3 is actually the wrong idea. You're supposed to actually take and just go queen d3, and you have a little bit of compensation here with the weak king. Okay, I went back and we just played this position. Yeah, I mean, he's totally winning. His first mistake was this tactic over here. By the way, I was setting up a sneaky move here, guys. Look at this. Let's say he plays some move like this. Uh-oh. Queen takes g6. Now we win because of the pin. But they saw that. They dodged it. But they failed to realize, yeah, queen takes g6 is the best move here. So this is the line I wanted to play, right? Rook takes f7. Take my queen. Boom. Checkmate. But like I said during the game, I thought they could just take. Or Stockfish says you actually just go king h8 and it's even better. Okay. But this, we just win a pawn. It's a big trade, but we win another pawn. So now we have 2 pawns. Great. No, 3 pawns. Sorry. We have 3 pawns for the knight. And yeah, actually Stockfish says trading the rooks helps us. If they keep a rook on the board, which this is fascinating. You know, I guess there's something with the knight and the rook being able to work together that are going to be better against the pawns. As soon as you trade them off, the problem with only having one piece left is the knight is never going to be able to take anything that's defended. Imagine if you have a rook and knight, you can set them up to attack the same pawn and you can take it and you know, it just opens up so many different things. So that's really interesting to keep in mind. If you guys are playing in a game and you have the piece against 3 pawns, don't just trade everything to an endgame. You got to keep some pieces on the board. Because now my pawns are just really powerful. And it's, yeah, actually, after he messes up, now I'm just winning. I'm just winning now. Okay. So I went d5 check. h5 was the best move. Good. I played b3 right here. So this is where I'm really curious. So Stockfish says, if I would have gone for this move, takes, takes, takes. This is what I was looking at, guys. d6. He brings the knight back. h6. Oh, look at that. I'm totally winning, but not if I play h6. Only if I invade with the king. We'll look at that in just a second. But this is what I was calculating in my mind. h6, takes, takes. He's going to come chase me. And this is really fascinating. Okay, it doesn't matter which pawn I push. He takes it. He goes back. And he gets a fork. Oh, and he wins. But the reason it's a draw is because you can get a knight. Promote to a knight. You promote to a knight and it's a draw. It's the only piece you can promote to not get forked by his knight. Oh, that's incredible. Wow. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. Oh my goodness. And the funny thing is, you can push either pawn here, and it's the same exact deal. d7, he goes back. If you get a queen, you get forked. This is like a composed puzzle. So you have to get a knight. You under-promote to the knight to avoid the fork, and you know, it's just a draw. You're going to sack your knight for the pawn at some point. Wow. That is crazy, guys. Like, this is nuts. So, okay, that's what I thought was going to happen if I went for this line. But apparently, Stockfish is like, no, you just don't push h6 here. You bring your king up, and if he tries to get your pawn, now you push it. And you could play h6 now because what's the difference? Oh, so sneaky. You don't take here because if you take here, guess what? Boom, the knight comes back and stops you. And you could try to bring your king up, but it's not going to work because he's able to defend. It's a draw. It's just a draw. That is so fascinating. But what you can do instead, well, you guys tell me, what's the move? What can white do instead? White to play and win. g6. You don't take it. You push because now the knight has no way to stop you. This doesn't stop the queen. And you win. So that's what I had to notice, which is very difficult to notice when you're trying to calculate from over here. Oh boy. So that's what was going on if I would have just pushed g5 and let him take. Okay. The other line I was thinking about doing was taking here. And if he takes this pawn, I was thinking now we push. And if the king attacks me, I was thinking a4 yes. And this is a win for me because if the king ever tries to come here, you don't even worry about it. Because whenever this happens, you can just create another passed pawn over here. And now the knight has just got too much to worry about. So that was also a win, just taking here. If he takes this way, though, again, we bring up the king. We invade with the king, and then we get the same kind of situation that happened in the game where we take the 2 pawns. So my king f5 idea was actually a good idea. And there's no way for him to stop. Yeah. Once you get the 2 pawns like this, it's just over. The knight can't stop. Wow, what an interesting endgame. That was so fascinating. Probably the moment of the game, though, right here. You promote to a knight to avoid the knight fork. That's the only way you get a draw. I mean, that is something else. Oh, man. Okay. That's why you don't give up. You don't give up even when you walk into some opening preparation. Actually, just in an effort to save some time, I'll play a few 10-minute games to close out the stream here. So these are going to be a little bit faster, but I want to get a few reps in here to close out the stream. Hopefully, get some points back. Okay, so we'll go G6. We've played this line quite a few times now. Yes, everybody's doing this. Bishop C4 is the main one. Bishop B3 is what everybody... Okay, he doesn't play Bishop B3. Is that a problem? Is that a problem? I think it's a problem, guys. Queen B6. I think this is why you have to play Bishop B3. Queen B6, Knight F5. We should be in good shape. Yeah, I'm fairly certain this is a mistake because you are allowing this move. And see, now the issue is you've walked into some tactics. You've walked into some tactics here, no? Beautiful looking move. Why are we giving up our knight for free, you ask? Because we are going to unleash the bishop and take a knight for free right here. And, by the way, we've ruined their pawn structure. Now, the only thing that I have to remember is which way do we take this guy? I do think we have to be careful here. If we take with the bishop, that's what I would normally take. But what happens on knight a4? Knight a4, is knight a4 a problem or not? Guess we could just check. If we take with the knight, I don't know if it matters too much. Okay, let me think. Like, do we get into trouble with a pin, I guess is what I'm trying to understand. No, because we have a check and take that. Knight d5, is knight d5 a move? Hold on. Knight d5 looks nasty, actually. Takes knight d5, what do we do? Yeah, what do we do against knight d5? Queen c5? But then c3... The knight is defending the bishop. So I might have to take with the bishop here. But then again, knight d5, what am I doing? What am I doing against knight d5, guys? Queen c5? Takes. Okay, we're going to have to check this after the game. But I think we have to be very careful here. It looks to me like this is the best move. Okay, he doesn't go for knight d5. I think knight d5 was a tricky move there. All right. Well, he's just going to play this position. I mean, we have a great position here. We just have a great position, right? Look at the pawns. They're all messed up. Okay, fine. We can actually play bishop against knight. I will do. Probably just d6 here, although I do have to watch out for knight d5 now. But d6, we take a free pawn. Oh, then he's going to get a check, though. Hold on. Let's be accurate here, guys. Let's be accurate. The issue with d6 is knight d5, rook e8, knight c7. We can't afford to get forked like that. So, what do we play instead? Rook d8, king f8. We avoid the fork. We avoid the fork. We give a way to defend the pawn. We avoid the fork, and we don't create a huge, massive weakness on d6 by pushing the pawn. That's what we do. So, yeah, now the king can go here. Then we can slowly untangle, and we will have a great position because of white's messed up pawn structure. Okay. I think, yeah, I think we did that right. I'm not sure about this moment right here. Maybe I was supposed to take with the knight, and there's some tactic that I'm forgetting. That's the only detail I'm not quite sure about. Okay, and now I think we can play d6. e5 is interesting, but I guess we just take a free pawn. Okay, we are threatening that, and then we can get the bishop to e6, control this, and we're in good shape. The only thing that's not good is our time situation, but I really needed to make sure I didn't blunder in those critical moments, and now it should be a lot easier to play quickly. Okay, he's going to go there anyway. I think we just defend like I had planned. This is not really a big deal. We just move the rook. I'm expecting h3. No, he goes for that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm debating if I want to go here or if I want to go here. I have to be careful, actually. You can double up now with the pawn there. That's actually a target, so we do have to watch out for that. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's actually pretty smart. That's actually pretty smart. Okay. So how do we deal with this knight? Man, I hate to do this. Actually hate to do this. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put my bishop here to defend against this, or at least to have the option to do that. Then I'm going to try to get this rook to the open file, bring it up to the action, double up. Yeah, that's a good plan. Okay, now rook f2 is not a big deal. We just drop the bishop back and we're fine. How's he going to target that? He can't. He doesn't have any more pieces that can attack it. Knight f4 looks nice, but we just move our king, no problem. Rook comes up, rook comes over. We push these guys. Yeah, okay. Okay, defend the attack. H4, H5, I guess is what he wants to do. Okay. Yeah, I guess I still have to figure out how I'm gonna get this knight out of here, don't I? Hmm. Hmm. I know it's a weird move, guys. I know it is. I want to move my king over here to deal with this. And I need this pawn to be defended, unfortunately. Yeah, how do we get rid of this annoying knight? That is the problem, isn't it? Hmm. Sorry, I did not mean to hit the mic. I mean, I can play e6, but then we have to deal with that. I don't think we should do that. How do we get rid of that knight? Must have done something really wrong here. I don't know how this happened. Yeah, this is not a good position, is it? Man. That's okay. We're gonna learn something from this because I'm pretty sure they played a bad move, and I'm pretty sure I had a nice line, and I guess I just totally messed it up. I mean, I think we're just lost, but I'm just getting a little bit desperate here. I'm getting a little bit desperate here to open up the position. Like if I could somehow just sacrifice one pawn, get my bishop on g6, my rook on f7, and get activity for the pieces, like maybe we could survive. We can either defend or play bishop g6. Problem is g5, right? All right, I got to get this bishop off the back. Let's sack the pawn and see what happens. Trying to target this weak pawn. I may have to sack here. Does it matter which way I sack? Okay, let's do it this way. If we win this pawn, it's not so bad. If we don't win that pawn, it's not great. We kind of need to win this one. Yeah, as long as we win this pawn, I don't think we're losing this game. Well, we might lose on time, but we shouldn't be in a lost position because it's going to be hard for him to do anything. These pieces are just going to sit here and you can't really touch them. And then if we win this, it's like 3 against 3. What is White going to do, right? Not to mention we'd have pressure here if this pawn is gone. So this is kind of a critical one. I'm going to go here. He can defend it, but it might be difficult actually. Let's target it. Oh, he's going to give it to me. Interesting. Okay. Actually, maybe I take with the rook. Yeah, take with the rook. Put the bishop back there where it's defended. Okay, he pushes. Probably fine if I don't get flagged. That's the issue. We do not have the 10-second increment in this game, so that's the big problem here. Position is starting to look much better, though. If we get b4 in here, take this pawn. This might be a win, actually. I'm not sure, though. No. No, why did I let him sack for that? Ah. I was gonna win on time if I just kept the bishop where it was. Man, or let my king or move my king the other way. Ah, so annoying. We were totally winning that game. I threw that at the end. I totally threw the win there at the end. Man. So technically, I guess it was a draw, but he was going to lose on time for sure. So I must have. We got to check that opening because I really thought he made a mistake. I really thought. Okay, so it's not. Yeah, it's a bad move. F3 is a bad move, and it's because of Queen B6. And okay, there are two ways to play it. You can actually just play knight takes E4 and win the pawn right away. But knight G4 is also very good. So what did I do wrong? Oh, I made the right decision. Yeah, knight takes D4 was a mistake because knight D5. I have this awkward position. I have to go back. And white's doing okay. So I made the right decision. And we just got into a great position. So how did I mess it up from here? Stockfish says you got to play F6 so that you can play rook F7. This is the configuration you need to go for. And now you can play D6. So the pawns are on opposite colors from the bishop. The bishop is free to do what it wants. You have no weakness along the F file. That's it. And you don't let him play G5. Like, that's what I needed to do. This move allows knight D5 and G5. And now I have to be real careful. I was supposed to go bishop E6. But if I make a few wrong moves here. Actually, even here, if I play bishop E6, I'm fine. It's just equal. This was the big mistake, putting the bishop back on E8. And then I was in trouble. But I was holding on, and actually this is okay. Stockfish says I don't even have to sack. I can just leave the position like it is, bring the rook over, and I'm okay. I just felt like I needed to get rid of that. And then the big question that I have is, did I have a win at the end? I don't think so, right? It said it was just a draw. Yeah, this is a draw. Wow. But it seemed like he was kind of messing it up, right? He was letting my king over. He was letting me push the pawn. I should have gone back. I should have gone back here. I think I would have had chances to flag here. Okay. Well, we learned something, I guess. I guess we learned something. Ooh, okay. Strong player here. Plays D4. Let's go for a King's Indian. Let's go for a King's Indian. And I will play the main line here. Actually, I was supposed to play E5 first. Oops. Oops. Okay, he doesn't punish me for it. Oh, he actually trades. Wow. All right, that's a surprising move. Surprising move, yes. This is not a great line for white. That's why it's surprising. Okay. You do have to be a little careful because knight d5 is potentially coming. But I can go here, threaten the fork first. If you take, probably rook comes up and I'm doing okay. Taking here, the knight comes in. We can defend. No, but we get forked. Yeah, I think we take with the rook here. This is not a good version of the King's Indian for white. It's just like a boring, like, Lots of draws, but actually not even great for white version. So most people don't play this way. We shouldn't have any problems if I don't do anything crazy. The reason this position is good for black and not white is because we have this outpost on d4 because their pawns are moved forward. They don't have the same outpost because we can put a pawn on c6. So it's like almost the same, but better for us that they have this pawn up here. So that's why most people don't play this unless you just want to draw. If you just want to draw, why are you playing chess for? That's my motto. If you just want to draw, don't even play. Draw doesn't really do anything. Okay. That doesn't look like a very good move. We just have to figure out why. If we try to grab the pawn, bishop e3 is going to happen. I guess we could play c6. Sack the rook. His knight's got to move. Maybe we have compensation, but I don't think I need to sacrifice. If we take with the rook, we lose a piece. If we trade, he takes this way, we can take here. That's fine. So he's going to take this way. It really feels like we should have a good move here, guys. Like, it really feels like we should. Maybe we do sack the exchange. Huh. If I take, he takes, the bishop is going to be coming back and trapping my rook, so I have to figure out a solution to that problem, and I don't see an easy one. That's why I think I should just take the pawn here. Okay, let's do it quickly and save our time, I guess. Bishop e3 is coming, and then it's a question of how do I want to sack the exchange? I can sack it here, and then we have an isolated pawn to target. Or I can play c6. Maybe I'll target the pawn, actually. Okay, let's do that. Oh, but this is a weakness. Actually, I don't know if I made the right decision there. Maybe we put the bishop here, target it this way. Okay, hold on, guys. Let's do a little reorganizing of the pieces. We do have bishop b4 check potential threat. So I think white is going to castle. And then I'm probably going to play f5, put the knight back here to target this, put the bishop on d6 so that we don't have to deal with this. And then we can target this nicely. We can go knight f6, bishop somewhere or somewhere. And if we win that pawn, we have plenty of compensation. Knight and 2 pawns for the rook. Nice center. I'm curious, though, what the best move was, because surely they messed something up. I don't think they played the opening correct at all. They played h3 and then did an exchange variation. Like, that's weird. That's really weird. Okay, he goes back there. Let's put the knight where we wanted. These pawns are very strong. We can push them if we would like, but I think for right now I want to focus on getting my bishop on d6. Then we get these guys into the game. Yeah, bishop d6, b6, bishop b7, rook d8. Nice and simple. Just target the pawn. White's going to have a very hard time holding on to that, especially with the bishop on f3, because I can just chase it whenever I want. That's fine. You can do that. Let me go here. Just defend the knight. Yeah, our plan is super simple, actually. Bishop d6. Da, 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 da. Whenever we want, we chase these bishops away. Yeah, they're going to be thinking because what are you going to do? I mean, you have your rooks, but you're not going to have any targets. You're not going to have any targets. That's the problem with White's position. Once I get my bishop on d6, it holds everything together. Yeah, just holds everything together. That's the thing about rooks. Like, they have to have open files to be real effective. If they don't have open files, what are you going to do with them? What are you going to do? I'm going to continue with the plan. I'm going to put the bishop there. I don't see any reason to not do that. Oh, rook takes c7. Did I miss this? Oh. All I had to do was play e4, guys. That's it. All I had to do was play e4 first. I just blundered this move. Man. Now I'm going to lose. Now I'm going to lose. They're setting it up. Nope, they didn't see it. They didn't see it. Oh, man. Okay. Whew. That was so close. I can't believe they didn't see that. All right, I think I want to go here, but we could also play e4 now. Yeah, let's go ahead and play e4. Then we'll put the... I can't believe they missed that. You're going to see there's a big spike in the game review. Because they missed that one. All right. We got lucky, guys. We got so lucky. Okay, so he's trying to undermine the pawns, but we're not going to let him do that. Remember, we don't want these files open for the rooks. So we're keeping it closed. Keeping it closed at all costs. And I'm going to absolutely generate this here. Yep. Look at this. What is White going to do about that? Nothing. Meanwhile, I still have a nice target here on d5, which we can attack with our rook, also our king, maybe both. I don't know if I need to play g5 just yet. I don't think so. I think I should go here instead. Let's threaten the pawn. You know what? I might even consider the move h5 here. Although I guess they could just play g5 and lock it up. Okay, I guess they could just do that. All right. All right, let's go here. We're going to target the pawn. I think we can just move the bishop out of the way and take the pawn, probably. Actually, even here, we get the double attack going on. Although we have to watch out for this. Let's be careful here. Yeah, let's be careful, guys. The thing is, I could just defend, but bishop b5, c3, takes. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, I'm not ready to give this up, but I don't want the rook to just infiltrate my position, so we have to try a different strategy here. I think this helps us, actually. Then we don't have to really worry about this extra section of the board. So I think I will go ahead and do that. Okay. Yeah, I actually do feel like locking it up as much as possible benefits us because we have more pieces that can potentially infiltrate. Whereas white does not really have too many options. I'm going to blockade this with my king. Trade the bishops or not? That's the question. Trade them or not? Let's trade it. Okay. What an interesting position. It seems like only black can have winning chances, right? Doesn't it feel that way to you guys? We target this pawn. Maybe we win, maybe we don't. But what is white going to do? Let's go. Let's go. I'm coming in, baby. Then we block off the rook. Then we take this pawn. I don't know if it's a win, but it's looking pretty close. Ooh, now we can go check in F2. Now we can go check in F2. I think you just messed up. I don't even have to go F2. I can just go take this. Yeah, let's go. We're going to take everything. We're going to take it all. I could block, but I think now is a safe time. Now it should be safe because it defends the pawn too. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Waddy. Why am I playing chess past 4 a.m.? Because it's not past 4 a.m. for me. All right, I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Oh, what a game. What a game. Okay. That was a really great illustration of how rooks sometimes are not as powerful as you think they are if they don't have open files, I think. I'm also curious if I did the right thing in the opening. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that was the spike. That was where they had the move, I'm sure, and they missed it. Okay, so let's take a look. First things first. The opening was very strange because they played h3 and then they captured. Yeah, which is like, yeah, it's only been played 3 games out of thousands and thousands that reach this position. Okay. A trade. Bishop g5. So it's not bad. It's just not good. I jumped in. I captured. This was the best move. Knight takes e4. And, so the way that Stockfish would have done it is c5. And c takes d4. You get these 2 pawns in the middle. And, well, what's the point if white leg just castles? What are we doing? Bishop here. Let's say they go here. We're moving our knight. And I guess what Stockfish wants to do is just throw the... Yeah, that's exactly. He wants to throw these pawns forward like this. Huh, look at that. So you sacrifice it but you get an extra pawn in the middle, which is a protected pass pawn, by the way, when they take the rook. That is what Stockfish wanted. The way that I did it was not awful, but not as good. Yeah, not nearly as good. Now, I did get the right idea of bringing my knight here and bishop here. White just didn't quite play it correctly. And then I totally blundered here. Yeah, if they... Actually, no, this wasn't the moment. I thought I blundered this. Check. D6. Oh, I can play E4 here. I thought, you know, if I save this, then this is going to trap my rook. And if I do this, then they're going to take here and I'm just losing. But I didn't realize E4 actually is fine for me. Okay. So I didn't blunder it. I thought I blundered. I didn't blunder it. So we just have a slight advantage. We just have a slight advantage. And then what was the mistake? It's just a draw. And then they lose. Now they lose because they let my king come in and take all the pawns. Very good. Oh. Whoa. White has one move here. Rook D3. You stop me from going there, stopping the pawn. And now I have a problem. Because this pawn, I have to go here and be able to come back to stop the pawn. That allows white to take all my pawns. And it's a draw if I play correctly. Rook H7, bishop E3, A6, G3, and they just check me and check me. And if I try to win, I actually lose because this is not a win. My bishop is pinned. They're going to get a queen. So I have to just keep going back and forth, and they have to keep checking me. Wow. Okay, but they missed rook D3. And then it's just over. Yeah. Okay. Fascinating. Fascinating endgame. All right, guys. We got a few points back. Still a rough night. Still a rough night. But hopefully that was helpful. Thank you guys for being here. I will see everybody next time. And oh yeah, the spike. Did I ever figure out what the spike was? Oh, it was a draw spike. Yeah. That's what it was. It was rook D3. It was rook D3. Okay. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Sorry that there's 2 streams. Don't forget, check out the newsletter. So go click on the description and there's a link. It says like 2-minute lesson sent straight to your inbox. It's a super quick video. Well here, I can show you maybe something. It looks something like, hold on, I'll just show you what it looks like. Hey, welcome to winning idea number 13. In this position, black plays the move knight to G4, which threatens this. Let me make it a little smaller. So it's just a video like this. Decides to defend with F4, which is it's almost like a tactics puzzle, but there's like an actual idea along with it, and it's super short. Like I said, 2 to 3 minutes. You have to try to find the move. Then I explain what's going on, what you have to remember. You get a key takeaway. It's totally free, so make sure you go do that, guys. And see you next time. Thanks, Steven.